now, the Planet Hank Live Show, the very best, the very finest entertainment Thursday night, 8 p.m. Tonight's show is going to be fire, as it always is. On the docket tonight, we have several amazing topics. We're going to do the fight in downtown Brattleboro, Vermont. We're going to talk about some food trucks. We're going to talk about the brawl in Cincinnati. We're going to go over the Epstein timeline. We're going to discuss socialism in Vermont and why here. We're going to discuss Trump's end homelessness executive order. We're going to discuss rehab options in Vermont and how slim they are. We're going to discuss ISIS attack in Africa and some fallout from that. We're going to discuss murderer James McGann arrested. And we're going to end the show with my man Marco, like we always do. I'm going to do the very most important part right now, as always. I'm going to share up the stream. Greenheart over at YouTube writes, real Vermont is Trump country. He goes, may God bless you as you deliver the truth tonight for Jesus. Let me go ahead and share this bad boy up. Let everybody know that we are going live. We are live. Share that up, okay? And maybe I'll share this into some groups on social media. I would really appreciate hashtag Brattleboro News recap show. I would really appreciate some shares. Shares helps get our message out to the masses. I'm going to share it into the finest groups. 802 Vermont Alliance. Trump Daily Report. President Trump supporters. The Planet Hank Locker Room. The most wonderful group. Full of the finest. The Scanner Gossip Group. We love that group. Trump 2024, America First. Vermont Growers. Mature member Scanner 2.0. Keen connections and alerts. MAGA Vermont. Oh, yes. Donald Trump MAGA. And that's enough groups. Let's go. So if you're just tuning in now, this recap show I do every single Thursday, 8 p.m. It's the finest show available in the entire state and the whole area. And I always want to make sure that I explain the rules of the game for everybody so they know exactly what's going on. Okay? Usually what we do is I will play one of my finest news videos. I play the entire video so that we can all watch the video together. And then I go ahead and open up for discussion, for questions, for whatever. She says, just shared. Greenheart says, the slippery slope of socialism slides to Satan's swamp. Chelsea Newton, she knows why. She knows what's up. You about to be featured. So, this very important news story, which I'm about to play, is coming out of downtown Brattleboro, Vermont, on Elliott Street. And oh boy, is there a bunch of tea about this. So let's all watch together, and we'll have a discussion about what's going on.
Breaking news. I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com, bringing you the latest from our community. Tonight's story comes from Elliott Street in the area of the Tower Bar, where police received a report of 10 to 15 people fighting. Several officers showed up from the Brattleboro Police Department, Windham County Sheriff's Department, and the Vermont State Police due to a report of a possible firearm on scene. Video evidence shows several females engaged in physical altercations, but it also shows one male sucker punching two separate females from behind. One of the females struck drops to the ground after being hit. There is no excuse for this behavior. There have been several violent fights in this exact location, and this seems to be more of the same, an alcohol-fueled incident. One woman was arrested for disorderly conduct from the scene, but this investigation is ongoing. If anyone has any information about the identity of the man seen punching females, please contact the Brattleboro Police Department or send me a private message. I was able to get a comment from Captain Petlock of the Brattleboro Police Department.
Officers responded to the area of the Tower Bar on Elliott Street for a report of a fight in progress involving 15 to 20 people. Upon arrival, officers conducted an investigation and arrested one subject for disorderly conduct. That person was later issued a citation and released with a court date. There were additional subjects involved, and the incident remains under investigation.
Just because you are arrested does not mean that you're guilty of a crime, and the investigation is ongoing. I'll keep you updated as this story develops. For the latest, follow me on social media and visit our website. I'm Hank with Brattleboro News and PlanetHank.com.
So there you have it. What in the Brattleboro? What I always say, what in the Brattleboro is going on? Like, bro, who punches females at the bar like that? That is ridiculous. Let's read some comments. Chris King goes, yawns. What else you got? He goes, my girl Ashley. Yeah. He goes, the owner of the bar went on Facebook the next day. That is not all that they did. He says, Vermont logger, maple sugar maker, Mark Coester for U.S. Congress. She says, who owns that dump? Fucking ridiculous. Scotty Price says, what up, my boy? He goes, too funny. I wouldn't expect it in small town America. Yep, bunch of ball bags. He goes, hey, wait a sec. Isn't that the Tower Bar's bartender? Oh, wait, don't use the tower as location reference because I have a vendetta against her. Okay, so here's the tea about the situation. Challenging News says, bored. Okay, what has happened here as we creep over 100 live viewers on the Planet Hank live show, the hottest podcast in the state? Here's the tea. The owner of the bar on Elliott Street is pissed, okay? So mad as hell, saying that basically that news video, I was targeting her somehow because the police and I used the bar where everybody was hanging out front of as a location reference. Fight outside the Tower Bar was the headline. So now she's mad, saying basically I'm targeting her investment in her business somehow because she wants to act like that's not her bar or her those people. She says those people weren't there. So today she called the police or contacted them. I don't know if it was email or call. Contacted the police complaining about me. She went on Facebook. I mean, I don't have those groups, so I didn't see it. But believe me, I got a million screenshots of people screenshotting all these fucking people, all these political casualties, mad as hell about everything Hank, complaining about everything that I do, fucking hundreds of comments deep. So that group, quote unquote, you're not supposed to be able to do that, trash people out, trash businesses out. But when it's Hank and when it's my business, they feel as though they are allowed to trash me out, trash my business, literally libel me, and trash my name out, saying a bunch of very nasty shit about me in huge comment threads. But when we have a headline that says fight outside of a bar, all of a sudden she's the victim, can't take it. And yes, as Scotty Price writes it right here, it is Hank's fault. Once again, it's always Hank's fault. It is always. She goes, it's a dive bar anyways. At least that's what I heard from several people. Oh, by the way, it's your fault, Hank. She goes, Chelsea Newton says, at the end of the day, we got to find out who this dude is because it's not fucking cool at all. Straight up. So if anybody has any information about who that gentleman was who was sucker punching females outside of the bar, please let us know. And because we want to get to the top of this or the bottom of this. This is ridiculous. Like, we're not having it. That's not good. And we're not interested. So can we not do that? Thanks. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely not, young man. We are not doing that. Who goes up behind a girl and just sucker punches them in the face? Multiple girls. The other thing is, why the hell did none of the men there do anything? He goes, F that. Planet Hank for president. Jacoby Lowry in the chat. What's up, man? What's up, bro? Okay, so I got to show you how deep the Planet Hank crew rolls. My man Jacoby Lowry's in the chat. And here he is with the largest Planet Hank tattoo on the planet. Look at that tattoo right there. Wow, bro. This dude really went all out with it. Got a Planet Hank back piece. I said, bro, get a tattoo. This all stemmed from a fight promotion getting mad about me sponsoring him as a fighter. And here it is. This huge Planet Hank tattoo. Dude, legendary status right there. That is legend status. Whoa, we got Randy Bobandy in the chat. He says, yo, what up, Randy Bobandy? Chris King says, you'll live. Chelsea Newton was one of the females who was punched in the face by that grown man, and it's ridiculous. He goes, weird, Brattleboro is such a bastion of freedom of the press and free speech. Just ask the Reformer or the Commons. Glenn Lake. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're totally allowed. Everybody's allowed to have freedom of speech except Hank. When I do it, all of a sudden it's a big problem. She says, whoa, no, over on X says, I wonder if the owner has ever been hit from behind. She sounds frustrated and single. Oh, oh my God. It's all Hank's fault. Yep. It's she goes, far from my heart, I bet you hit females too. Christy Schoolcraft says, hey, Planet Hank. I feel like there's a shots fired. Women's wrestling in Brattleboro, maybe. And Holly McLean writes, real men don't hit women, something we can all probably get behind. Okay, so there's that. This is a topic that's all over the national news. We're going to be discussing this in a moment. And we've got some very fine content on the way. But here's the thing. This is still under investigation. The police, in my mind, they basically arrested somebody. They thought that all the people on the street, they gave them certain statements and everything, and it led to an arrest. But after a little bit more investigation, it changed things. Greenheart writes, please join us Saturday 2nd, 6 p.m. at Church of the Crucified One, 52 Vermont Route 100, South Moortown, Vermont, for food and 2 bands as we raise money for the orphanage, 15 churches, and 2 schools. Glenn Legg says, we look like Cincinnati. Exactly, you started getting it. He says, Chris King writes, I am a female. I only react in self-defense. Well, Evelyn Ashley, okay. She says, come on, Hank, it's a women's fight club. Yes, so maybe that's what we'll start. We're going to start an underground fight league, okay, where women we'll have cage match fights. We'll host them at the Preston lot. They've got a new caged-in corner. And what we're going to do is we'll take bets and we'll film them and air them for views. And I think that it'll be a huge hit. No pun intended. She goes, should it be hard to find the culprit? Only 7 blacks live in town. The rest are traveling entrepreneurs. Oh! Chelsea Dude says, okay, and don't violate it by saying it's far from my heart. Come on. Now, I got sucker punched from behind. Yes, they're arguing. Yes. She says, I agree with Evelyn. It's time to release some of this pent-up... The problem with Evelyn is she keeps getting beat up. Okay? Like, Evelyn, stop fighting. You keep losing. Okay? Like, you need to hang the gloves up, girl. You need to hang the gloves up. That's it, bro. She said, running your mouth. People don't react and attack for no reason. Oh, so Chris King, is that victim blaming? Are you blaming the victim? Wait a minute. I thought it was hashtag me too, believe all females. But not now? Not now? Look at that. This is what I'm saying. Hence the man I never met in my life punching me. She says, you're never there, bud. Get in on the action. Said, who claims she's a victim? Yo, they're having a war. I love it. This is so fucking funny. The Planet Hank Live Show, the greatest online podcast in the history of onlineism.
Planet Hank Live, the absolute finest entertainment on the internet. Join us in fighting back against evil.
It's hotter than a blacktop in July, sweating like a sinner in a church, and I just wanna get out with my crew tonight and shoot at the lights. Got a couple 40s full of hops and fun, looking for a good time, gotta live it up. Leave behind the city, hop inside my truck. No, we don't give up. We're gonna paint the night red. Who can holler till we're dead? We're down to turn up. We're up to get down. Saying, hey, y'all.
So there we have it, the finest, absolute finest entertainment, the Planet Hank Live Show. And I want to take a second now to do what we always do at this time, which is thank all of our amazing sponsors, the very best sponsors. The Brattleboro News is funded by some of the finest patriots and all of the land, Kings Electric. Huge shout out for always supporting me. Kresge's always supporting your boy over on Canal Street. Head over there, get your car worked on. Ron's Towing and Repair up in Putney, Vermont, and they have a lot of things that we're going to be discussing tonight. I got some special news from them. And huge shout out to MOB Pilot Car LLC, Mike O'Brien. Big shout out to you. If you're interested in sponsoring the Brattleboro News, hit me up. Advertising packages and sponsorships are priced competitively, and you will be seen. We got the eyeballs over here. Everybody's watching what Hank does. Real progress taking over the state of Vermont. We're going to make some real changes. Going to get the ridiculous dog shit progressive ideology out of the state and rebuild back for patriots. And two things I want to mention. Rods up in Putney, Vermont has their oil undercarriage packages are available. If you need your vehicle treated, head up to Rods. Great prices. Here's the list. And one other thing that's happening that I want to throw up here is this Friday, as with every Friday, they have the Food Truck Village right there, the Food Truck Park. And I've been up there, and it was delicioso, okay? They got a bunch of food trucks. They got live music playing. They got little picnic tables. They got games and shit for the kids. Head on up. Some of the libtards say that they're going to go up there and protest Hank and cry and whine because they had a fight, and I made a news video, and they feel entitled to trash me and my business out. I don't know. Come on up. We're hitting these super soakers. The Planet Hank Live Show, the absolute finest entertainment, and I've got a video here that I'm going to play for you. Now, keeping on the topic of the brawl outside the Tower Bar, we're going to go ahead with this one right here.
The brawl that happened early Saturday morning on 4th Street in downtown Cincinnati.
Montinez Merriweather, DeKyra Vernon, and Jermaine Matthews are the first three charged in connection to that fight, the video of which went viral. Local 12's David Winter was at their bond hearings today. He joins us now with new details about the fight that has received national attention. David.
Yeah, it sure has, Kyle. All three of those suspects behind me right now in jail. Two of them were arrested by police yesterday. The third turned himself in overnight.
And vicious. Anyone who watched this hideous video would agree. Of course, I warn you, it's graphic. This is animalistic. I mean, animals don't do this to each other. You know, it didn't stop there. They stomped all over both of those men, and then one of the thugs smashed a woman to the ground. She fell flat on the pavement, unconscious. You can hear people laughing in the background in some of these videos. We don't know exactly what happened before the fight. Police say some sort of verbal altercation, but by the time they arrived on the scene, obviously the fight was over. The people were unconscious.
So, like, what in the hell is happening? Okay, like, why are people knocking girls out, punching girls, brawling? This was outside of the LOVE bar in downtown Cincinnati, and there's a huge crowd of people, alcohol-fueled anger. There's all kinds of stuff, but people are being charged. They found the people, and they charged them with all kinds of charges, and there's some similarities in those stories. Like, what the hell? Why? Okay, and one thing I want to say is one of the main things that this town of Brattleboro started crying and posting newspaper articles calling me racist and the worst thing ever and trashing me and my business out was when I had a post about BLM, and it was a response to them jumping people. But I draw some very similar rhetoric from what that newscaster just said right there, and I don't see the outrage. Seems like a lot of selective outrage when your boy is involved and they're obsessed with me and every single thing that I do, and they make such all of a huge tantrum about what I say, and it's ridiculous. And I'm getting tired of it. And everybody's tired of it. You're making fools of yourselves, so please shut the fuck up.
Hank, 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 Hank. Always Hank. Can't escape him, even in here. They think this jacket stops me. They're wrong. In my mind, it's a runaway train, and guess who's driving? It's Hank. His smile, his walk, the way he breathes, it's all I see. It's maddening. They tell me to let go, to forget, like it's that simple. He's under my skin. I can't scratch him out. I see his face in the cracks on the wall. I hear him in the dripping faucet. He haunts my dreams. I think of him when I'm alone. Food, water, air. Who needs them? I'm fueled by Hank. I'm consumed by Hank. He is my everything. I love how he doesn't even know I'm alive. I'm trapped by him. Please free me, Hank. Hank, 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 Hank. I hate him, and I'm confused because I love him. Hank, 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 Hank.
Yo, I love that one, bro. Hank. That's how I honestly imagine half of Brattleboro 90% of the time. Like, are you guys fucking serious? You're this fucking upset about every single thing that I ever have to say, anything that I do. It's like, it's getting fucking ridiculous. Like, you're that mad that I fucking made a story about a big fight happening? That you called the fucking police? Get a goddamn fucking grip. Are you shitting me? Holy crap. Like, it's gone really far. And I don't know. So let's do a little bit. I'm going to roll up and read some comments here because it's fucking hilarious. He goes, because guys don't care anymore and drugs and alcohol involved. Literally, like, bro, what the hell? Louis McDougal throws the popcorn up. We got ladies are having a brawl here. She goes, cheap viewers on streamboo.com. Oh, no. I can clearly see the personality shining through, Chris. He goes, you started running your pussy flaps in the comments, and she responded, obviously, it's worth your time. Oh, boy. Yo, Chelsea about to have to brawl with Chris. Says, no, dumb fuck. I did it. But you ran your mouth to the dude, right? Come on. Okay, yeah. So you want attention. She got Noah Pangolin says, you're the biggest pussy if you are trying to justify a man hitting a woman. Yeah, like, I don't, Chris, all I know is that Chris can't get Ben idiot. Like, I don't understand. Awesome 3-on-1. I can take you all on. Now you're gonna fight everybody 3-on-1. I don't understand what your point is. So you're trying to justify how there was two girls on the camera and somebody got sucker punched from behind and that was their fault? Like, I don't see how getting sucker punched from behind is their fault. I mean, I do understand that, like, okay, if you go out to the bars, if you do a bunch of shit, you know, bad things happen when people are drinking, when people are out, there's drama. This is not a new thing. This is sort of like what I need the owner of these bars to understand is like, dude, this is not about you. You're taking it way too fucking personally. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. You're so offended for no reason whatsoever. And it's not like all about you and your business. Bars have shit like that happen at them. That's what happens at bars. Shit goes down. Like, so, marked safe from being offended by Planet Hank today. Bro. And no, not all of you can freaking post that. No, you can't. Half of you can't post that because you are offended. You're offended as hell. Mad at everything I do. You're literally watching me from the sewers with your forehead all wrinkly, mad. Why would Hank, how dare Hank do anything? How dare Hank do anything? Ridiculous. All I'm saying is this. What the hell's going on with this brawling and beating up girls, like, and nobody's doing shit about it? They're filming it, whatever. Like, bro, that's like that little kid punching girls out at the bar. Dude, there should have been 10 dudes beat the fuck out of that dude. I don't even care if it was all on their side or whose side. I mean, who the fuck side is trying to knock out a girl at the bar? With a sucker punch, no doubt. She says, well, I'm not in Brattleboro. Chris King says, no, I'm not defending. I'm saying she had to do something for someone reacting on her. Now saying like she's not saying like she's some innocent person. Yeah, I mean, I agree. These girls are fucking mouthy. She goes, Glenn Legg says, sucker punch. I barely know her. Brattleboro Press. No truth fit to print. They would never touch this. Tasha Neathawk says, that was my cuz. Nothing about this was okay. Karma goes around. Yeah, for real. Says, that's what I'm saying. My sister didn't do shit. You can see in the video, he positioned himself behind her and punched her. How's that right? He goes, and the owner wants attention, money, or look for problems with you if that's what's occurring. Lewis McDougal writes, I heard Chris King sucks dick for snow. Oh, boy. Hank, how can anyone be upset or mad at Hank? He videotaped it live. Yeah, like, how am I in trouble? After everybody, it's like, how the hell am I the one who's in trouble after this? All I did was make a goddamn news report about it. But I'm in trouble? She's on there fucking saying she wants to sue me for fucking defamation and slander and libel and like all this. Like, what the fuck are they what the hell are you talking about? He said, witness you sucking dick. Oh my God. DJX Sports 1. He goes, it's just crazy. It's like the hood now. Yeah, it's crazy. Period. Pooh. She goes, Tower Bar, no hood bar. So the Planet Hank live show. Let's take a peek now at what the hell the weather's going to do this week. Today it's rainy all day. Tomorrow 80% chance of rain, 76 degrees. But look at that. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. All sunny, 77, 82, 85. Tuesday, partially cloudy. Wednesday, cloudy. Weekend's gonna be lit. I bet the fight's gonna be wild out on Elliott Street. Yes, I know it is. He says, you're the GOAT, Hank. Katie Lynn writes, hashtag Hanky. Everybody go ahead right now. Do me a favor in the comment section. Write hashtag Team Hank And let's jailbreak this page because there's been so many people. One of the things that the libtards in town were trying to do after they were all butthurt because of the fight, they all said, oh, well, we're going to report all of his social medias. If enough people just keep reporting him for no reason, then they'll do something to him, blah, blah, blah. So I have a feeling I've got myself 50 angry, mad, feminist, libtard protesters reporting my page and making up all kinds of wild and wonderful reasons of what I've done and how I'm a terrible Nazi and I'm the worst person in the world and how dare Hank. Hank has no rights. He's not allowed. Hank's not allowed to say anything that we don't like. It's not fair. There they all go. Hashtag Team Hank. Hank for president. There it is. Yes, yes. Yo, if I was the president, you know how mad they would get? It would be fucking beautiful. I'm already pretty much the, yeah, she goes, hashtag feminists against Hank. Yo. Bruce LeChant's right. Hashtag Team Hanky Panky. Amelia Kinney in there. Suzanne Colvin. I got all the Patriots in here tonight. Rachel writes, Hank for mayor. Hashtag Hank for mayor all the way from X. Let's see what we got for viewers on X. We got 100 viewers on X. That's what I'm talking about. That is amazing. It says, Hank didn't do it. I did not do it. It's not my fault. You can't blame me for everything. So we got a lot of topics. Oh, but I've got the video for you guys. This video right here has me fucking dead. And I will say it like this. You're welcome. Yo, so Elizabeth Warren, Senator Elizabeth Warren, who everybody calls Pocahontas because she lied and said that she was Native American so that she could get into college and whatever. But she's senator out of Massachusetts, and so we got ourselves another Sleepy Joe situation. She's falling over on the Senate floor. What in the hell are you doing, Elizabeth Warren? Get up! Get up, girl. What, you got dementia? Are we going to need another auto pen for you? Are you shitting me? You just falling over like Joe Biden falling down them stairs? Jesus. We need term limits, okay? We need term limits. How fucking old is she? Okay, she needs to go out to pasture, not on the Senate floor. She can't even stand up. What the fuck was she doing? She goes, Native Americans have... oh, yeah. Rachel said, I knew you'd love that one. She says, the old biddy need to retire anyways. Hashtag TV. She goes, Julie Hewell writes, I was downtown that night and I posted on my page a fight at the Tower Bar. It was in front of, which is at the Tower. I know. And somehow when I say it was in front of the bar, literally said outside the bar in the headline, somehow this is like a national emergency with the libtards of Brattleboro. Oh, how dare he? How dare he? She says, Poca Hippa Hickahotis. Now we're going to have to call her Hippopotamus. Greenheart says, Vermont Congress, women want Becca Ballant wears red Nike sneakers and has immigrants wiping her ass. They were Pumas. That is what she said. It is documented. Hashtag how dare Hank. She said term limits. Also need limits on elders being able to drive. Yo, Maurice is trying to take their licenses away. Yo, so we should fire her from Congress and take her driver's license away while we do it. Like, you're done. We saw you. We saw you on Planet Hank, Warren. We seen your ass. You ain't going back. We ain't fucking having it. We don't give a shit. Your ass is fucking, you're done. Look at Ted Cruz over there, white knighting her. The Planet Hank logo took her out. Brattleboro News recap show, the finest in all of the nation. Now, Mason Souter writes, did someone say Planet Hank for president? Yep, we're running. We're running. Now let's get political.
Patriots of Vermont, I'm calling on you now to warn you of corruption, of scandal, of betrayal during every vote. Becca Balint, Peter Welch, Bernie Sanders have sold you out. They voted against the HALT Fentanyl Act, flooding your communities with 85% cheaper drugs. They decriminalized narcotics. There's no treatments. We are exposing the corrupt leftist politicians who have infiltrated our state and destroyed our potential. Join me. Fight back. Stand up for yourselves. Do what's right for the state of Vermont. Do what's right for our children. It's time that we come together and kick these people out of our state. Join me, Planet Hank, in fighting back. Fighting for Vermont, fighting for America, fighting for our children's futures. We have to turn this around before it's too late. Crime rates and drug usage rates in the state of Vermont are out of control, and they have tried to defund the police every step of the way. Fight back with me, become a patriot, and let's get this done for the Green Mountain State, because it's the right thing to do for Vermont and for America.
Yes, baby. That one always gives me goosebumps right there. And so what I'm going to go into is I'm going to talk about Vermont. All right, the wonderful Green Mountain State. We are broadcasting from the heart of Vermont, Brattleboro, okay, where maple syrup flows and liberty still matters. Today, we're diving into the creeping threat of socialism in America and why it's gaining ground and why Vermonters should care. Buckle up. This is about our freedom, our farms, and our future, and our girl fights on Elliott. What is socialism? The basics. Socialism equals government control over your wallet, your work, and your life. It promises equality, but it delivers empty shelves and broken dreams. Think Soviet Union, Venezuela, and now maybe even Main Street Brattleboro. It's not about compassion, it's about control. They want to dictate how you live, all the way from Burlington, boo, to Brattleboro. Yay! Why is it gaining ground? Okay? Young Vermonters are fed up with their student loan debt, sky-high rent, and corporate greed strangling out small businesses and all the bullshit little hustles they have. Kids are sick of being broke, and so they want the left, who's dangling free stuff, free housing and college and healthcare. It sounds sweet, and the kids are ready. It sounds sweet, like Vermont maple syrup, but it's a trap, okay? Nothing is free. It's paid by taxing hardworking Vermonters, our farmers, our loggers, our small town entrepreneurs. Is it just frustrated kids, or is it something bigger, though? Follow the money. Coastal elites, globalist agendas. Socialists are pushing this agenda to weaken America's backbone. Why are Vermont's own progressive politicians cozying up to these ideas? Are they pawns in a larger scheme to erode our independent spirit? Look at New York City's mayoral races. Socialist candidates rising. Could Montpelier or Burlington be? Dude, we're already there. We already have crazy-ass socialists here. Vermont's taking the fight. Vermont's a land of rugged individualists. Think Ethan Allen, the Green Mountain Boys. Socialism spits in the face of our live free or die-esque ethos. Our small towns thrive on local businesses, not government handouts. Even though in this state, we are one of the most reliant on federal funds. Socialism would crush farmers markets, our craft breweries, our family-owned sugar operations. If socialism takes root, say goodbye to Vermont's way of life, replaced by bureaucrats telling us how to run our lives, all the way from Washington, D.C. History is screaming at us. Socialism fails every time. Soviet breadlines, Venezuela's starvation, Cuba's decay, even in soft forms like the Scandinavian models, it's not what it seems. High taxes, less freedom, and a one-size-fits-all system that never works in diverse, independent Vermont. Don't believe the hype. Socialism's a wolf in sheep's clothing, even in flannel. Democratic socialism is just a rebrand, same old control, wrapped in good old buzzwords. They're targeting our youth. They're on our college campuses. They're in the high schools. They're preaching woke bullshit to our kids. Everybody knows that. College campuses like UVM, where idealism meets ignorance. We all see that. Like, I'm bold enough to stand up and say my own shit. I fucking wear a MAGA hat. I fucking am a Trump supporter. I fucking say whatever the fuck I want to say about my opinions because I'm not afraid of a bunch of fucking libtards throwing a tantrum. Go ahead. Post my fucking dirt. Post my criminal record. Tell me I'm the worst motherfucker ever. Post my screenshots. Do whatever. You won't fight me, though. I don't fucking care. Okay? Like, dude, I am who I am. And I'm smart. And I'm handsome. And I'm not going anywhere. So, figure it out. That's just what America is. Not everybody agrees, and we don't have to. And somewhere in Brattleboro, people miss that fucking memo. Watch for buzzwords like equity or justice. It sounds nice, but it's a code word for government overreach. And I talk about this all the time they also use the buzzword community outreach, which just means politics and protesting. She says, cancel town, cancel culture. That's right. Everybody ready to comply and obey with the next new thing. Stay boosted and mask up. She goes, we are losing our rights, freedoms, and liberties little by little. If I want to know what Jeff Bezos thinks, I will read The Reformer. Chris King goes, Belinda, though, is playing this high school geek image that just fell in with the cool kids club. She went from a net worth of $600K to one point. Yeah, she's the phoniest fucking motherfucker there. As Hank states, doing online courses about social political definitions, positions, and stances. Oh boy, the fits they throw. Yeah. Watch out for those advanced directives being shoved down your throat. Vermont is the mini-me of California. Vermont is definitely a little petri dish where they can try globalist, socialist fucking ideas here. They can try to get some organizations going. They can try to see if they're money laundering or corruption or whatever the hell dark money scams that they want. They can gerrymander. They can do stuff like Act 250 where they can basically zone out any type of growth in the whole state except in Burlington or Brattleboro. And so they can keep the state blue and build power. They can try those concepts here on a very small scale with very little actual oversight. They can do that here, and that's what they're doing. They're getting a foothold. She goes, advanced directive? Who's pushing those? I'm confused. Shot a little in the chat. Okay, so what can Vermonters do to fight back? You can, ding, 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 tell the truth. Educate your neighbors at the general store or the Stowe Farmers Market. Socialism is not Vermont value. It's betrayal of our independent spirit. Defend capitalism. Done right, it's lifted a lot of people out of poverty. Like if you have, what I'm trying to say here is if you have a libtard who's a friend, and they are saying all this stupid shit, or you see them on social media, you know what I mean? You don't need to be as radical as me, maybe, but you can say something. You can push back a little bit. When you're watching wokies go fucking crazy, you can be like, whoa, 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 chill out. Chill out. Okay? Moonbeam or freaking whoever. Like, you need to be more humble and more like let everything flow. Vermont was supposed to be easy living, relaxing, mind your own business. Everybody doesn't really care. Like, what happened to that? What happened to like, whatever, man? Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, now the hippies are like turning into psychopaths. Mad as hell. If you don't agree with what they're saying, they attack you. And they like can't let it go. They've watched too many TikToks out of LA where they feel like they're now entitled to try to attack people for what they say. Like the other day, I pulled up and I had some Trump flags hanging off my truck, and I pulled up and there was this libtard out there, and she just starts shaking her head and starts in on that. Well, I think that, and I literally looked at her. I said, you know what? I don't give a fuck what you think. I said, what the hell have you done? You're sitting out here, you live in this shitty ass apartment. What the hell have you done that you're so successful in the world that you think that you should be telling other people what to think and how the government should operate? We got a real problem with that here in the town. We got a bunch of people who can barely run their lives uptown trying to tell people how to run the government. Like, shut the fuck up. Simple as that. He goes, Brattleboro is a mini-me. Okay. Levi says, you're weird. Kendra Williams, hey! Yes, yes, yes. She goes, I work in healthcare. She goes, maybe our advanced directive is completely different. Yeah, definitely. Towering example of speech suppression and censorship. She says, tell it, Hank. Show how your local businesses can grow. Think about Ben & Jerry's before it went corporate, or your local sugar maker. They thrive under freedom, not control. Get local. Run for town select board, school board. Support candidates who reject socialist nonsense. This is what I mean. We need to get people involved who will just like do the normal right thing. We got so worried about how woke everybody is that we don't have any candidates anymore, or people who are just going to like take over and do a good job and like just like do the basic stuff of basic local government. It's turned into like, I'm mad about Trump and now I'm running for select board and then like it's nuts. Like, okay, so for example, the other day we had a big story at the parking garage where someone had taken a shit on the stairway at the parking garage. And people were posting about it. It was like, what the fuck? There's shit on the steps. Who the fuck? And then all these libtards are in there going, well, we need more porta potties. We need to have public access to bathrooms, man. Like, where else would they be able to go if, like, how can we expect them not to take a shit in the fucking stairway in a public parking facility? Dude, you live in Vermont. It's woods. Head out. Take a fucking walk and go take a shit. You don't need to shit on the steps because we don't have bathrooms downtown. And I'm here to tell you. So this big conversation about how we don't have public bathrooms, okay? We do have public bathrooms at the BTC, okay? There's a facility, a men's room and a women's room. They had needle fucking boxes inside of them. They're located next to the parking enforcement office where you pay your parking tickets. Now, those are locked up. There's a whole lobby. We built it. We paid for it. There's a whole lobby with bathrooms in it. Those bathrooms were locked up and not accessible to public. Why? Oh, because people kept overdosing in the bathrooms and there's no supervision and they go in the bathrooms and nobody will ever find them again and they'll die in there. It's ridiculous. People were doing all kinds of nasty shit in there. That's the thing. So then everybody's up at select board screaming about the new police substation, which thank God got voted in 3-2, thanks to our select board. And the plan has bathrooms that will be accessible to the public. And guess what? Ding, ding, ding. They're going to be monitored, okay? So that this won't be happening. There won't be people overdosing and dying in the bathroom or whatever. Maybe they will overdose in there. Who knows? But there'll be an officer there all the time so you can save someone's life or be there. You got to monitor them. This whole thing, there's nowhere to go to the bathroom, and this is like some crime against homeless. We had bathrooms for them. We did this. We've been there. This liberal shit, this compassion, virtue signaling shit breaks down and fails and blows up in their face every single time, and then they run their mouths with half-assed weak talking points that nobody wants to fucking listen to because you're fucking stupid. You're not smart. You're not educated on the situations, and you're killing people, and We just went over this with 69 Alpha. They're having people overdose and dying there, and then all a bunch of libtards got on my post, fucking bitching about trying to twist the truth because they really want a hangout spot. It's fucking retarded. Now they're out there at 69 Alpha, and the staff has been sleeping inside 69 Alpha. And they're all mad, and it's all Hank's fault, and everybody hates me. Moving on. Okay? So, we have plenty of stories to go over, and one of them's coming out of Washington, D.C. And our boy, right here, Mr. Donald Trump signed an executive order on homelessness and mental health. Is this Brattleboro's big win? A bold move to reclaim Vermont streets. President Trump's July 2025 executive order targets homelessness by prioritizing forced institutionalization for those with mental illness or addiction, aiming to restore public order. For small towns like Brattleboro, this could mean cleaner streets, safer parks, and a return to normalcy. But is there a hidden agenda behind the scenes? Is this order a step towards exposing the deep state neglect of mental health crisis or a power grab to control vulnerable populations? What's in the executive order specifically? This directs federal agencies to reverse judicial precedents like the 1975 and 1979 Supreme Court rulings that limit involuntary commitments, making it easier to hospitalize people deemed a risk to themselves or others. This shifts federal funding away from Housing First, which has damaged Brattleboro greatly with programs like Wyndham Housing and Brattleboro Housing, stuffing dumbasses and heroin dealers and criminals into places that were never designed to have those people, like old folks' homes and senior facilities and places like that. The Housing First has crushed Vermont and Brattleboro specifically. This takes funding away from Housing First policies to programs requiring sobriety and treatment, and prioritizes grants for towns enforcing bans on public drug use, camping, and loitering. These are huge problems that we are facing in Brattleboro, is the public encampments, the people using drugs in our parks, and loitering. Okay, so let's take this full circle back to what the bar owner's thing was. And she was like, those people weren't in our bar. We had kicked people like that out before. We don't want them in our bar. Okay. But what her problem is people are loitering outside of her business and causing problems with her actual patrons. If that's the case, if that's what the truth is that she has people loitering, drinking, doing drugs, fighting, doing crimes outside of her business, and it's causing bad press. It's causing a bunch of bullshit problems for her and her guests, and we need to stop it. Another one is Plaza Park down at Malfunction Junction. If you've been in downtown, you've seen them. There's been a huge pack of people using drugs and camping and living out there, making that park very dangerous and untenable for the town. It's hard to police it, and families and children and all that wouldn't dare go there anymore. And so this executive order is going to prioritize towns that work on this stuff. Bans on public drug use, camping, and loitering. The executive order claims that most homeless individuals suffer from addiction or mental illness, justifying long-term institutionalization as humane treatment. Like, bro, we got the Brattleboro retreat. We have all these places. Why are these people being released and literally that like crazy people who should be like getting treatment and being like not in the park shooting up? Like, I don't get it. Are globalist elites behind the Housing First model to keep the chaos on the streets and profit from it? I've been screaming this the whole time I've been doing anything in Brattleboro. Are nonprofits who have ties to globalist dollars, all these outside of state dark money coming in, where are they getting all their money from? We got 6,700 nonprofits in Vermont. And I say it all the time. They profit from the chaos. They don't want to fix the problems. They want to pump their numbers up and get more funding. The more homeless people, the more drug addicts that are in the town and in the state, the more money they can ask for from town budgets, from state budgets, federal dollars. They're going after the opioid resettlement money. They're in a money grab. And what they need to justify asking for more money is they need more people with problems that they can pretend that they're treating. Brattleboro's homeless problem, a local crisis. Brattleboro, a hub for arts and tourism in Wyndham County, has seen a visible homelessness rise. We are number one in the country with 212% rise in homelessness, with encampments near Main Street and the Connecticut River, all over town, really frustrating local businesses and residents. Brattleboro's 2023 homeless count, 3,295 people statewide, up 12% from 2022, with Wyndham County reporting significant increases due to housing shortages and opioid issues. Local sentiment. Residents complain about public safety risks, drug paraphernalia and vagrancy in downtown Brattleboro, aligning with Trump's rhetoric of disorderly behavior and violent confrontations. And it's refreshing to hear the president basically echoing exactly what I have been saying every single time, every single podcast, every single news story. The entire purpose of why I started doing this was because what I saw and what I have done was show and expose and hear, and now I have the president saying the exact same stuff. Public safety, drug paraphernalia all over the streets, vagrancy, it's not safe down here. And the disorderly behavior, like even if it's just like the fighting, it's just disorderly, getting high, getting drunk, fighting, breaking rules, throwing trash, shitting on the stairs in the BTC, throwing needles everywhere. And I always say this, the AIDS Project, which does a needle exchange, which has changed away from a needle exchange, now it's just a needle handout. You don't got to bring your needles back to get new needles. You just go in and get whatever needles you want, and they just hand them out. It's ridiculous. Could Vermont's liberal policies have been a deliberate experiment to destabilize small-town America, now countered by Trump's order? And I believe that 100%. The liberals were trying to, meddle with the strings and the fabric of what our communities were. They were literally fucking with Vermont. They're decriminalizing drugs and prostitution, making all kinds of extra benefits in our state that aren't in other states. The voucher program, there literally been rumors that places like Groundworks and other things go to out of state and tell people to come here because you will get better benefits and you will get help by going to Vermont to go to these nonprofits. Okay? And this is where this order is literally going to cut that shit off because they're not dumb. They know what's going on. It's not a secret. Dude, 6,700 nonprofits don't just pop up. This is not just, I wonder what happened. We know what happened. You guys are bullshitting and going up and infiltrating local governments and getting all this stupid shit voted in because all these people in Vermont are progressive sheep every single time vote by party, not by issue, and they can't separate the truth. Direct benefits for Brattleboro. Cleaner, safer downtown. The order encourages clearing encampments, potentially reducing visible homelessness in Brattleboro's tourist-heavy areas, boosting the local commerce and property values. If you haven't noticed, the restaurant Plated on the corner of Brooks, the Brooks building on the corner of Main and High Street, out of business, gone. Several other businesses in downtown Brattleboro, gone. Businesses have been shutting down across the board, gone. That is not good to do business. The woman who opened a thrift store on Elliott Street across from 69 Alpha and the Tower Bar, she said that she had several people inside of her store from out-of-state tourists there up for lunch and to do some shopping. When a major fight broke out outside of their distro, their little homeless hangout spot, that scared the shit out of the customers who left. They didn't buy anything and left town and have never come back. This woke shit is killing our state and killing our towns. People come here, they see what's up, they see the shit in the stairs, the needles on the ground, the crime, the homelessness, and they say, yeah, fuck that. We're not going down there anymore. The federal funding boost. Towns enforcing anti-camping and anti-drug laws could receive prioritized federal grants, helping Brattleboro fund local police or treatment programs without raising taxes. Two things we desperately need. We're up in select board bitching about the police budget, bitching about the cost for the new substation that we desperately need with their bathrooms that we already have, but we can't use because people are shooting up in the public bathrooms and got them locked down. They never say that while they're up there whining and virtue signaling at the select board. We have the bathrooms. You already paid for them. You want to go up there and act cheap at select board and pretend that it's not just because you hate the cops and that you guys are benefiting from chaos? You're full of shit. This is a planned out. This was all part of the plan. Try to defund the police, try to ramp up the chaos, and then get their little virtue signaling treatment programs funded. They want social workers to make big bucks and have this be ground zero for social work. Mental health crackdown. Involuntary commitments could address Brattleboro's opioid and crack-driven homelessness. We have a crack epidemic here in Brattleboro, Vermont. Moving individuals to facilities and reducing the strain on local shelters like Groundworks. That's the other thing. Going to facilities will help. Like, they're sitting there saying they're overrun, they had a murder, they're scared to go to work, like, they're not doing good. It's a public safety win. Residents will feel safer. Maybe we'll get some money from the federal government to help fund the police station and big projects like the substation. We're all bitching about taxes. Let's get some help. You know what I mean? Maybe we'll have fewer confrontations in public. Okay? Trump's order targets the dangerously deranged. If you are a subscriber on my $2 content, you'll see that altercation that I had with a man on Main Street. He was drunk, screaming, and I drove up while women and a whole family were running down Main Street away from a crazy individual who was pissed drunk, screaming and threatening people while they were sitting at tables on Main Street. And I had to pull up and yell at him and tell him to back the fuck up while the whole family was like literally trying to jump into my car behind me. And it's out of control. It happens all the time in Brattleboro because we have people who should be institutionalized walking around and being released because we have no funding, no programs, no nothing. It's ridiculous. Is Brattleboro a test case for a nationwide cleanup to expose how state governments have mishandled mental health funds? Facts. Like, what the hell is the Brattleboro Retreat doing? We give them like $100 million a year. What the hell? Like, dude, it gets worse every year, worse and worse and worse and worse. We literally send people to the courtroom and tell them that they need to get evaluated and everything like that. And then they say, oh no, they're not crazy, they're not evaluated. And then we let them go. I thought when someone gets evaluated and not put in an inpatient, then it should go back to court and they should get charged with the original thing and punished with a judicial go to jail punishment. What's happening with that? The guy who set everything on fire and was saying the N-word got a hate crime at the BTC. What about that John Oja guy? Dude, I got a big story coming out about him luring that little girl into his hotel room. He's been arrested 5 times in the last 30 days. After the hotel room incident, he got arrested again for exposing himself to another person for lewd and lascivious activity. Before that, he broke into Twice Upon a Time. He went into the store and hid, and then so they closed the store down, and then he, like a movie, like Home Alone, where you go into the store and hide, and then they close it down, and you come out and rob the place. Ridiculous. Why is the guy locked up? Maya writes, yep, that's why I used to walk home with a knife out. Nobody fucking with me because I look like the crazy one. Just out here wielding a knife while you walk down the street. Like, bro, you just start drooling, mess your hair all up, and just walk around. And everybody in Brattleboro should do that. Well, they already are, really. Just acting crazy as hell. Okay, so why does this executive order resonate with Vermonters? And this is what I have tapped into. This is what Planet Hank represents, okay, as we're creeping over 180 live viewers. Vermont's rural communities like Brattleboro value self-reliance and community safety, aligning with Trump's Make America Safe Again messaging. Local frustration with Burlington, even Brattleboro's urban decay spilling into smaller towns fuels the support for stuff on crime. Like, dude, people are sick of it. They are sick of it. And they want something done. This is why my videos have been wildly popular. There, like in the 90s, even 10 years ago, people probably didn't want to see as much police content like this. Now people are like, bro, fuck that. Arrest them. We do not want a bunch of crazy John Ojas, mental patients. Remember the kid with a swastika tattoo that I throat punched? For me being a racist, I'm the only one in Brattleboro who ever throat punched a Nazi. Okay, why wasn't he in the Brattleboro retreat? Why were any of these bad cases ever locked up and kept there? Because this was their plan all the time. Decriminalize. They want a non-carceral approach. That's what each other program was going to, a non-carceral approach, meaning not go to jail for committing crimes. What the fuck? Who the hell thinks that? Who wants that? Nobody wants that. We want the dangerous people out of the fucking parks so we can have our kids go up there and there's not a bunch of fucking heroin needles and muggings and girls getting punched outside of the bars and shit. Here's a fucking caveat for you if you don't get it. It's dangerous to go out and do that type of shit. If it was safe and nice, you'd probably get 10 times the amount of business because people would be going out on dates, people would be going to having a nice time and feeling comfortable to spend money. Nice people who have lots of money and would like to have a nice time and spend some of it would show up. Not just the people who want to sucker punch people out in front of the thing, a bunch of loiterers, a bunch of bullshit, okay? Potential challenges, but we're winning anyway. Critics claim the order ignores housing shortages. Vermont's median rent is up 20% since 2020, and that's true. We all are dealing with rent. And that could strain Brattleboro's limited psychiatric bed space. We have a huge problem with this. Places like the retreat. Opponents argue that forced treatment is unethical and may violate rights, potentially leading to lawsuits. Conspiracy counter. These critics might be part of a left-wing plot to keep the homeless on the streets as a visible crisis to justify more government control. Period. End of story. That's their whole plan. Always has been. Make a whole bunch of fucking chaos so that they can sneak in communism or socialism. Like they did with COVID when they shut down the borders and freaking made all these masks and all this scary shit. And then what did they do during COVID? They opened up the hotel voucher program and got all the homeless people in the state and sucked them into towns. Burlington, Brattleboro, Bennington, the towns that have the hotel voucher program, our homeless population skyrocketed, our drug addiction population skyrocketed, our crime and the cost of us to respond to public safety to those hotels skyrocketed. It's been ridiculous. It's their plan. It always has been their plan. And a lot of the freaking retards who are being used to implement that plan, they don't even know that they're being used. We need to push back against this shit. We need to push back. Vermont's role in a national reset, Trump's order could signal a return to the 1950s-style asylums, which some Vermonters might see as a practical fix for a broken system. Brattleboro could become a model for small-town compliance, securing federal dollars while bigger cities resist. Yeah, we need to go ahead and clean up our streets and get some extra help and get some federal dollars and get this shit out of here before the town just turns into Holyoke. It's fucking ridiculous. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows this. Is this part of a bigger plan to expose Big Pharma's role in the opioid crisis? So they all act like they're so innocent and they're not controlled by Big Pharma. They are being controlled by Big Narcan. They want these injection sites. That Narcan is a $1 a year industry. They're out here selling that logic to libtards like, oh, well, yeah, but then they won't be out in the street where they're dying. We'll just have safe injection sites where we can use a bunch of Narcan to bring them up every couple hours. That's ridiculous. It's time for us to stand up. We need to start supporting and voting for people who talk and sound like me and will stand up to the libtard, progressive idiots who are no king protesters out here. Don't even know what they're talking about. We all saw my video. We've all watched it. They don't even know what they're fucking talking about. They're out there drunk, sound ridiculous, and have done terrible shit for us in this town. We are doing terrible. We got to get them out of there. So My next segment here, I'm going to read off one of the main problems that I have with all of their logic. They want non-carceral approach. They want people not to go to jail, not to have punishment. They want to decriminalize drug possession and all this. I'm going to read off all of the rehab options in the state of Vermont and how much they cost. Because this is fucking insane and exactly what our problem is and why we need some fucking federal bucks to open up. We should have a massive fucking rehab facility in Brattleboro. This is insane that we don't. Okay, Valley Vista in Bradford, inpatient/detox facility. $50,888 gets you a 30-day inpatient program. But you also need a $142,170 7-day detox. $50,000, $800 for 30-day inpatient, and you need $142,000 7-day detox. That's like $200,000 for Valley Vista in Bradford, Vermont. The Brattleboro Retreat, inpatient, $50,888 for 30 days. Outpatient, $8,456 for 90 days for outpatient. Mental health and addiction programs. 50 grand? 50 grand? They don't offer detox. Sana at Stowe. Residential/detox. $50,888 for 32 days. $142,170 for a 7-day detox. I'm getting there's a pattern here. Holistic trauma-informed care, which to me just screams, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. What the hell is the word holistic and trauma-informed? No, get them off drugs. And why does it cost over $20,000 per day? Per day. To have someone sit there, get dope sick for 7 days, 20 bands, $20,000 a day? Get the fuck out of my face. No wonder we have so much junk box shit. Motherfuckers can't get sober. There's no option. $142,000? Serenity House, Wallingford, residential detox. $50,000 for 30 days, $142,170 for a 70-day detox, opioid, alcohol-focused, pregnant women programs. River Rock Treatment in Burlington, outpatient, $8,500 for 90 days. Trauma-informed holistic care, which means there are a bunch of wokies who are going to go in there and coddle you and nothing's going to happen. You're going to, okay? Maple Leaf Treatment Center in Underhill. $50,000 for 30 days, $142K for a 7-day detox. Co-occurring disorders. Central Vermont Substance Abuse Services, outpatient, $8,500. Community-based care. Howard Center, Franklin and Chittenden counties, outpatient, $8,500. Crisis hotline. Adult and Teen Challenge Vermont Men's Center, faith-based residential. $10,000 to $20,000 for 10 to 12 months. Low cost, long term. That is the best one. And I don't know what's all included in it, but it's a 10 to 12 month program for $10,000 to $20,000. Low cost, long term. But you know the woke left is going to hate it because it's a faith-based, meaning a Christian version. Clara Martin Center, Randolph, Bradford, Chelsea, Wilder, outpatient, $8,500 for 90 days. So you can be an outpatient, meaning you just go in for the day for $8,500. Or you got to have $50,000 for a 30-day inpatient program. So you're going to rehab for 30 days, that's 50 grand. Not going to happen. You need a detox of $144,000. That's not going to happen. We got huge fucking problems here. Bill DeCosmo says, throw them all in a cell. Leave a gallon of water and a day and sleep it off. Blair writes, fact, opioid withdrawal is not as dangerous as alcohol withdrawal. Exactly. Alcohol is the only one that you can die of withdrawing off of. Medicaid don't cover those others. Only Valley Vista, Serenity House, and sometimes the Retreat. But here's the thing about Medicaid. It does not cover a 30-day program. It covers a 14 to 17-day. So it's a different approach. It will not give you the 30-day program. It goes, cold turkey sandwiches are far cheaper, 100%. Sherry D says, crack pipes and needles are free, but help is thousands. Makes sense. I know. You got you got the AIDS Project over there handing out thousands of needles. So when you walk around town and you're wondering why it's littered with thousands of syringes and stories coming out of stores downtown that were featured at the Real Progress hit event, where one of our female business owners mentioned that they had an infant child or like a 1-year-old child reached down on the ground and picked up an uncapped needle, and everybody's heart sank, and they luckily did not prick the child with the needle, but a child still had a dirty syringe with no cap on it in their hand that they picked up off the sidewalk. Absolutely disgusting that this is what we've let our community turn into in the name of being woke, being fake compassionate libtards. It's time to call them out on their bullshit. The same libtards who are preaching free needles, free crack pipes are the same social worker libtards you're going to find working at places with a $142,170 bill for a 7-day detox. It's always been about getting the money. It's never been about helping anybody. It's virtue signaling to make their businesses get the funding they need to get rich and buy Saabs and Volvos and their houses out of downtown. They all live up in freaking goddamn Newfane and shit and own properties, and they would never, ever, ever prioritize. If you were not paying them $142,000 to get a 7 days, $20,000 a day. If you don't give them $20,000 a day, you can go back down to the park and overdose and die. Let the fire trucks come and pick you up. And they don't even want to fund those. They want to cut the budget for the fire trucks and the police who come down and pick them up off the ground and save their lives every single night. I'm there. I document it. If you don't believe me, go watch my reality show. They're trying to defund the lifesavers so that they can get rich off of their fucking misery.
Vermont's $9 billion budget, $9 billion for 600,000 people. Taxes crush us, homes vanish, yet the money's gone. Where is it? Becca Balint, teacher to rumored millionaire in 2 years. Bernie Sanders, Vermont's hero, pockets $1.4 million from Big Pharma, abandoning us for DC glory. $350 million on climate change, zero accountability. $40 million blown on motel vouchers for 1,600 people. Propping up hotels while 6,500 nonprofits drain on your taxes and provide nothing. 212% increase in homeless population, the highest in the country, and costing millions in police response for drug crimes. Sky-high taxes, crumbling roads, and a housing crisis say it's not helping you. They're burning through your budget on bloated salaries and pet projects. Planet Hank is fighting back. Join the movement. Follow along as we expose their corruption. This is the downfall of Vermont.
There's Barbara Gann writing right here, and I really like this. She goes, the Team Challenge has a great track record. They study, they work, they go out in the community with supervision, learn to live like normal people with a strong faith in God. It works, and I agree with that. I'm glad to see Christians coming back. So here's another story. We're moving on. Another story coming out of Africa. Okay, there is an ISIS attack at a church where killing 43 Christians has been reported, but it's only been reported by one news agency, Fox News. Is the story being buried by mainstream media with Fox News as the only sole outlet exposing the truth? This kind of proves this weird globalist agenda to suppress news of Islamic terrorism to protect woke narratives. We've seen this. They hate Israel, then they ignore when Hamas attacks. They don't want to hear about all of the nasty stuff from both sides. They say that all of the Israel stuff is all Mossad intelligence agencies, but they fail to identify that the Moist intelligence agency is their counterpart, does the exact same thing. Pushes money and dollars from Qatar and from Iran and is creating this whole narrative. Biden's border has enabled ISIS-linked groups, all kinds of Islamists, all kinds of terror groups to go across our border, not just here, but sort of taught like these groups the concept of this. Infiltrate these countries, create sleeper cells, and that includes Africa. There's unconfirmed posts claiming sleeper cells are already here in the U.S., planning similar attacks on Christians, Christian values, on schools. We just saw it. And our media is backstabbing us. Now, could that attack be a false flag orchestrated by a Western intelligence agency to distract from domestic issues like election fraud or economic collapse? There's been all kinds of people who are saying that the CIA, the UN, Mossad is funding ISIS. But basically, I'm here just to say there were 43 people killed at a Christian church in the Congo, in Africa, and ISIS has claimed the attack. And it sort of plays into a narrative of our weak-ass borders, this globalist, and there's all these conspiracy angles. And it's sort of like we're saying, that there's a lot of money from these globalists, and they're playing proxy wars with us. They're playing propaganda wars. They're picking and choosing which media agencies are gonna say what and how they're gonna spin each scenario. Okay, and they use different countries and different places like Vermont, who has a weaker oversight, to basically try out their bullshit. And so is the Congo situation another one of these let's try out their bullshit, radicalizing an ISIS-based group to push Islam and do a dry run and then basically skip through the borders, built up sleeper cells, recruited locals, and then attack Christians? We've seen this time and time again. And we got one more story coming out of America, the U.S. This is a shocking arrest in small town America, and it was really crazy. We have, let me see, did I have a video for this? No, I did not. But this kid here, Okay? This kid, Jesus Christ, James McGann. This guy was caught mid-haircut in Springdale, Arkansas, proving nowhere is safe from predators lurking in plain sight. McGann's arrest at Lupita's Beauty Salon and Barber Shop at 4:57 p.m. on Wednesday, July 30th, while getting a haircut, is announced by Arkansas State Police. It was pretty bizarre. He was still wearing a barber's cape in his mugshot. Like, look at him. In that shot, he still has the barber's cape on. It paints him as a calm psychopath who thought he could just evade the heinous crime. He's charged with 2 counts of capital murder for the July 26 stabbing deaths of Clinton David Brink, 43, and Kristen Amanda Brink, 41, at Devil's Den State Park. The victims were hiking with their daughters, ages 7 and 9, who were unharmed. It just sort of shows America's moral decay. Like, dude, you're hiking with your 7 and 9-year-old daughters, and this fucking guy, look at that guy. Like, are you shocked? Look at that dude. That guy comes out of the woods and stabs you and your wife to death, and your kids have to run away? America's moral decay under liberal policies? This guy is a teacher's candidate hired by Springdale Public Schools, noting he hadn't yet worked with students, but how did he get past background checks in Oklahoma and Texas? Like, dude, the whole entire education system is infiltrated by dangerous radicals. Woke school boards are too busy pushing CRT to vet teachers properly. Kids are at risk. Like, how did this happen? A teacher, this motherfucker right here, and he's stabbing people to death out on the trail and kids had to run? Disgusting. So we're going to see what happens with that as we go. And now we're going to jump to, let me go ahead and do this. Marco, the dog, is asking you kindly to put 3 dog emojis up in the screen in the comment section. That's 3 little pictures of little doggies, so I can give this little doggy his delicious milk bone, the very finest dog bone in all of the land, for my co-host, Mr. Marco the Barco. Once 3 people put up 3 dog emojis, there goes Sherry. There goes Hardy Krista. Shelly. David. There it is. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Come on. Come on. One more jump. Go ahead. 3. Go. Good boy. There he goes. He goes, I don't emoji. Blair, Lauren. Lori. Big shout out to Lori Wood. Martin Johansson. Tasha Temple. Sherry Sherman in the house. Who else is in here? Rachel Morris, shout out. Jeff, shout out. Brenda Olette, shout out. Shelly Vlachos, shout out. Glenn Lake, sorry. Green Heart over on YouTube. Bill DeCosmo. Chris King still in the building. Africa has always been a trial run country for money things, even prescription meds. Lab rats, 100%. Easy to get away with shit in that country, in that continent. The Planet Hank live show, streaming every Thursday night, 8 p.m. The finest entertainment in all of the land. We got everybody mad, but the thing is, they mad, we happy. Oh, I've got one slide I forgot to show. There it is. Wow. Rehab costs $140,000 for detox in Vermont. How is that real life? How is that real life? Okay, that's what I want to know. Like, what the hell are they talking about? $140,000? I don't think so. But always remember this. When they're freaking out, you see those comments scrolling in, make sure you stick up for your boy Planet Hank. Make sure you fight back against the libtards and the socialists and the freaking globalist elites. Fight back for Planet Hank Live show. Throw some comments up. Talk some shit. They're not going to do anything. They never do. The Planet Hank Live show. Everybody, thank you for watching. I'll catch you again next Thursday, 8 p.m. I got some other big news stories coming out, including a stolen car and a felony stop. They're executing a warrant. We have a bunch of other things going on. I'm always out there on the street. If you see me, come up to me, say hi. Love you guys. Peace.